Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since Kansas in 2017, the WRLA Menard Truck Series roars to life, and the party's getting started at the world center of racing, Daytona International Speedway. We have some familiar faces and some very, very new faces, and we're going to cover them all here throughout this 15-race season, starting right here at Daytona. Welcome everybody to the first race since 2017. As always, I'm Elijah Leonard here with you, and for the first time in a couple of years, I'm actually not alone here. Joining me is driver owner of NS Racing, Mr. Nathan Stapleton himself. Hello, man. How we doing?
It's great to be here at Daytona. Always kicking off the season, and it's great to see these trucks back on the racetrack. And have a ton of fun this season, and I cannot wait to get all three series kicked off here in 2026.
Well, Nathan, I'm just as excited as you are as an announcer, but for you as an owner driver, I mean, of course, you don't have any drivers here in the truck series other than Noah Clifton, who is driving for Thor Sport. But you do have your team in Xfinity, which I know you're going to be very eager to watch your drivers later today at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, you yourself, you're going to be taking notes here, especially mental notes on what you can and can't do in these races, especially when it comes to this Saturday's Daytona 500. What do you think you're going to bring to the plate this Saturday? Or actually, let me rephrase that question. I guess what I'm trying to say is, what are things that you're going to be looking for as not only you're watching this race, but also the Xfinity race later on today?
Well, I think the big thing about Daytona is pick and choose and try and figure out where is the best place to make the move, either on the inside lane, the middle lane, the outside lane, and when you do it, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 down the back stretch, and you gotta figure out with these new drivers who is maybe more aggressive than others, and you gotta learn and take notes of what not to do if you want to survive and get to the end of these races here this weekend. And that's what everyone's going to be trying to do, and gotta see who gets the job done here.
Absolutely. We do have a lot of familiar faces here for the truck series, and especially all WRLA altogether. Take Michael DeFay or even Harley Higdon, for instance, who have been a part of this organization since 2017. You also have Bruno Giacomo, who's starting outside pole here for this race. He wound up winning a NOS Energy Cup Series race at Watkins Glen, holding off Russell Blaze for his first career win in WRLA. And Addison Giroux, who's had a lot of success here in the Arcom Pepsi Amateur Series back in 2021 and 22. She starts on the pole here for the UNOH 250 here at Daytona. 50 laps of action. Who's going to come out on top here in the first race in 9 years? We're about to find out. It's a brand new season. It's a brand new era here for WRLA as we're continuing to get our footing underneath us and grow once again. The drivers are strapped into their trucks. Pre-race ceremonies are just now starting to wrap up, but in order to get these 36 behemoths on the racetrack, we got to get the command to fire the engines. So let's go trackside and get just that.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Engines are fired, pace truck is rolling off, and so are these 42 competitors. Starting lineup will be rolling on the left-hand side of your screen, and as you can see, we talked about it during qualifying for the truck series, and we might have mentioned it several times prior, but we are using the Tally Rally version of Daytona, and we're about to see it in points paying action for the first time in WRLA history, starting off with the truck series. I'm just excited to get this season ready to go. So I'm going to turn to you, Nathan, here, and I'm going to ask you, there's a lot of faces in here that you may not quite recognize, but also there's another group that you would. So I know that really didn't make a lot of sense, and I do apologize for that, but if you could pick a name out of anybody that's racing here today, who would you pick to have a shot at winning this race?
Well, this version of WRLA Daytona is very chaotic at times, and I think that could be the case here today. I'm going to go with someone I do in fact know, and who I could think to have a good year in the UNOH scene as a whole. Give me the number 34 of Bryce Beacon to win this race from the back and go to the front.
Yeah, you know, when it comes to a place like Daytona International Speedway, it doesn't always matter where you start. It's a matter of where you finish. I mean, we also see Wayne Lopez back here. He is starting in the caboose with Bryce Egan. He could potentially have a shot at winning this thing here today as the field comes off of turn number 4. It has been 9 years since the WRLA Menard Truck Series raced. It was at Kansas in 2017, and here we are 9 years later. Addison Jarrell and Bruno Giacomo bring him to green to revive the Menard Truck Series. And already, as they work their way down the back straightaway, full song, 3 wide, 3 rows deep, as Giacomo takes command of the race from the outside line and is going to try to see if he can cut down to the bottom. Looks like he's staying middle of the racetrack as they work their way through turns. Off of turn number 4, Giacomo completely clear of traffic, and our NOS Energy Cup Series winner from Watkins Glen last year is going to lead the first lap.
Fantastic up front so far from Giacomo, doing exactly what he needs to do, but that's going to only last so long. The number 2 of Jesse Turner, that's a name that I've heard of over the last decade. He is up to the front in the number 2 machine. He's going to try and block the 9. I thought he wasn't going to be able to for a second as Giacomo had a slight run, but now here comes the 75 to the inside. Henderson on the move. And I think until someone has a fast enough truck, they might cycle for a bit. And you gotta watch out for the 81 that there. Almost made a bad 4-wide decision with the 0-2 of Eli Bright sliding up a little bit. And that's how things look here at this version of Talladega. It's Daytona, I should say. If someone slides up, someone behind them will take advantage, and that's how 4-wide starts.
Yeah, that's Haley Tollison, the number 81, that almost made that 4-wide maneuver that last lap around, coming to the tri-oval. And Russell Blaze in this number 07. We are going to see him tomorrow night in the Daytona 500. He almost made it 4 wide here for this race lead, but he's going to stay tucked to the back bumper of the 26 of Chris Reynolds and push him to the point. And Reynolds is going to come up and block the middle line. I'm not sure if that was the smartest decision in the world. The 33 of DeFeo and the 52 of Alex Richards, they were bumping doors there for a moment, heading through the tri-oval, but looks like they're going to keep it situated at least momentarily. They're 3 wide once again for the top position. Blaze in the middle, Bright on the bottom. Reynolds got shoved up to the top. And now Haley Tolles, Carson Miller, and Carson Green, the Carson and Carson show, nose to tail amongst one another as they head back into the 3rd corner.
And this is so far fairly calm, relatively speaking. I know it's 3 wide and they're teasing 4 wide, but a lot of times they can get out of it. But once they do go 4 wide, that is very, very sketchy here at Daytona. And well, I have spoken to the assistant 71. Cosimo really trying to peek to the inside of the 81, but it will be Bright, and then the 81 of Taurus out front, and everyone. This is a great race to get a bonus point plus the championship by leading lap. So most likely a lot of drivers will here, as we always see our first instance of 4 wide, but there might be a gap. The 98 gets up a little bit.
They save it, they keep it together. Good heads-up driving by both Thor Sport Racing drivers. That's Chase McClure in the 98. He drove for Cologne Motorsports on a part-time basis last year. Now driving for Thor Sport full-time this year. And Noah Clifton, one of your drivers on the number 66, utilizing this race as logging some laps for tomorrow night's Daytona 500. And meanwhile, back up at the front of the field, they are still 3 abreast. Now, Nathan touched on this a little bit ago with the point system. Leading a lap here, it will be absolutely crucial, especially in the early going of the season. It's 1 bonus point for leading the most laps, 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, and 10 bonus points for winning the race. That all goes towards at least finishing in the first position. That is if you were to accumulate all the bonus points plus the 40 traditional points for winning the race, you can accumulate up to about 56 total points starting off the season. And here at Daytona, it is not easy to get all of those bonus points together and win the race at the same time. So that's going to be a tall task for somebody to try to get all the categories.
Absolutely, and I think someone that we might have to watch out for that might be this 99, Carson Green. Led, I think, a handful of laps there, but he's not. Oh, I don't know who that
I think that was Carson Green led it again over Salmon Oskin.
Barely, they took that to update. That was how close that was, but now it's not gonna matter as the 88. Riley Ream to the point, Elijah Gordon right behind him. And this is what I was talking about. It's kind of a cycle, but it's not at the same time. Because we are definitely seeing maybe these Thor Sports was strong here. The 99 stay up for a little bit, and now Ream is on the move. And so far, so good, Elijah. 8 laps in, seeing a couple of close calls before wide, but a lot more calmer than what some of these drivers might have been expecting.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that. I mean, in all honesty, I was kind of thinking that the truck drivers, with these races being half the distance of normal NOS Energy Cup races, would be a little bit more at edge and a little bit more aggressive to try to make as many moves as they possibly can in order to try to stay out front for as long as possible and win the race. But so far, that hasn't really been the case. Everybody has kind of been just keeping their cool in the early going. They know this is a long way to go. And, you know, for traditional truck races in the NR community, a normal cup race would be ran at 25% length. Well, this is how truck series are going to be running all year long, at max 25% length for these races. And that's going to be proving to be somewhat of an average cup race, if you will. Unless if you look to WRLA NOS Energy Cup Racing. But Gordon didn't even lead that lap. He's now stuck in the middle. Bradley Ream led that lap from the extreme outside line. That third lane that has his teammate of Carson Green. And now we see Ronald House go to the point, and they are 4 wide for second position. Oh boy, there it is.
The second instance of 4 wide. There might be a gap here, though. Ream's gonna leave the top.
Oh, they're bumping doors.
Woo.
Hartnett and Sarah Taylor got together there for a little bit, but they keep it straight. They keep it going, and we stay green. We don't see those drivers bobble around all that often. We haven't seen it a lot pretty much all race long so far up until that point, but that's the closest that we've seen these drivers nab our first caution, if you will. I mean, I know that wasn't really much of English there, and I do apologize for that, but nonetheless, oh, they're going to go 4 wide again.
Oh, boy.
That's Max Anderson in the 38 that just saw the door swing wide open, and he's going to take that position. Taylor and Gordon still fighting it out. They don't even know which lane to go in.
This might not end well.
Oh, they're still banging doors.
Gap. Oh boy, the good thing about these trucks that there is a little bit of a buffer. Never mind.
There they go.
And the 38 gets clipped.
And Liam Davis just piles right into Max Anderson. Wayne Lopez collected, Sarah Taylor as well, and Salmon Oskin in the 77 grabbed a piece of that one. First caution of the day is out here at Daytona, and Elijah Gordon has a pretty stout lead over Bradley Ream, who's coming at him with a full head of steam.
The draft. Ream's trying to get the official race lead here.
Oh, he's trying to get around the outside. He's got to run. Heading back
It's
to the
gonna
caution
be
flag. Not
the
going to
11.
make it stick. So Gordon is going to lead him back to the caution flag. But man, you knew it was going to happen eventually, Nathan, but it wasn't a big one, but it did take out several trucks, including this number 77 of Sam Oskin, the right front fender of his Telcel Chevy Silverado is toast. Sarah Taylor in the 5 collected. There's Wayne Lopez in the 1 who started caboosing this one. I think he should be able to continue. Not the case. He's going to pull it back behind the wall. There's Liam Davis who pile drove into the 38 of Max Anderson. And I believe the 38 was the driver that wound up getting the worst end of that one, especially when it came to hard hits. Mechanically speaking, that trophy would go to Sam Oskin, unfortunately, as his day will be ending early here at Daytona.
Without a right side fender, that's not something that you see that often. Luckily, it wasn't a huge wreck per se. Like we were feeling with it being in front of the field, but it did have several trucks involved, so you gotta see how it all goes down. A solid 12-lap one there, and now the first pit stops of the season. And all it takes is one full-line mistake, and that time there's not a gap on the high side, and that's what happens when you go full wide at this version of Daytona.
See what the strategies are going to look like for all these drivers. I think, if anything, it might be a splash and go. Looks like Gordon taking some pretty extensive time there in the pits. Almost made some contact with Russell. Oh, no! He made some contact with Noah Clifton as he was exiting his pit. That's
the trouble with splash and go stops. Everyone is entering while everyone is exiting, and that could be significant on the restart.
Might want to also keep an eye on that damage, especially for both the 11 and the 66. Gordon did win the race coming out of the pits. Clifton will come out second. His teammate Bradley Ream in third. Then Brock Nelson fourth. Carson Miller would complete your top 5 coming out of the pits. And Chase McClure would be 6th. Carson Green 7th. And there's your pick to win there, Nathan. Bryce Egan, he came out in the 8th position. Ronald House coming out in 9th, and Michael Davis in the 18, completing your top 10. Be careful, guys. Let's get all situated here. Especially all back over here. Addison Jarrell just absolutely blasts everybody. Just, oh boy, just be careful, guys.
Oh,
Kelsey
boy.
Higdon just nicked the O2 of Eli Bright there just a little bit.
just a tap.
Just a tad, just a
much.
kiss. I think her truck should be okay, but we are working our first caution of the day here at Daytona. Elijah Gordon won the race out of the pits, and he is going to lead the field to the restart. So let's go back and review what happened that caused our first wreck, to cause our first crash, our first yellow flag, can I English, of the season here at Daytona. Well, as everybody has come to find out over the years of using Tally Rally, Daytona 4 wide never ends well. And we see Noah Clifton, Ronald House in the middle, Bradley Ream, and the 44 Billy Kidd on the bottom. Ream up top, but the 66 and the 41, they're still rubbing doors. They go up and collect the 88 of Bradley Ream, and then collect the 5 of Sarah Taylor, who bounces off the 11 of Gordon, goes back down, and just clips the 38 of Max Anderson, and it is on. Everybody trying to slow down to avoid the 44, and look at that hit there that Liam Davis just delivered to the 38 of Max Anderson. Just a lot of hard hits here in the opening stages of the UNHO 250 from here at the Daytona International Speedway. Everybody's still trying to take evasive action, and there's where Sam Oskin gets some of his damage. Actually, I think that's where he got all of his damage, just from clobbering the 1 of Wayne Lopez in the back end, and Noah Chastau getting a piece of that 77 as well. But it's going to be a tough break for several drivers here in the opening stages of this race and the opening stages of this season. And drivers like Sam Oskin, for instance, they're going to be starting at the bottom of the barrel for the 2026 Menard Truck Series season.
Well, 4Y never works out well at Daytona, and this is the price these drivers pay. Clifton, House, get together, they squeeze up into Ream, and then turn the 44 of Kidd. 38 gets clipped, a great wreck performance from the 67 of no Clifton, and a big hit for the 38. Practice spot, nowhere to go for the 1, and the 77 slams into the 1 as well. The 5 of Sarah Taylor gets stuck on the apron, and I said this in the background. This what with it being up front and who all got clipped. I thought this was going to be a lot bigger than what it was, but luckily it was not as big as what I've seen in past years at this version of Tally Rally Daytona. But a couple of drivers' days will end in the garage early here in the season opener of the Menard Truck Series.
Running on board with a 77 of Sam Oskin, who was just right in the middle of this whole thing. Gets on the brakes perfectly for House. Oh, there's where he got the damage. Just clipped the 5 of Sarah Taylor, and that's what tore the right front fender of his truck off. And then also ran into the 1 of Wayne Lopez and had a couple other hits on top of that as well. So that is a very tough break for the 77 of Sam Oskin. Riding along from the helmet cam of Liam Davis. This is exactly what he sees from the eye view right there. Just did not have any time to react whatsoever, and especially with the headrests on the left and the right sides of, Davis's head. He can't really see what's going on around him. It's, of course, the spotters trying to guide him through the wreck, and unfortunately, Liam Davis just had nowhere to go. Now riding with Sam Oskin's teammate, Emmanuel Hartnett, who was right behind these drivers when it all happened. Just a little bit of damage on the front end, but great driving from Emmanuel Hartnett, who managed to get by all of this. But unfortunately lost a lot of position, so he's going to be marred back quite a ways, or I think, well, yeah, probably marred back quite a ways, or he was at the moment that this caution came out. But nonetheless, Elijah Gordon is your race leader coming to the restart, so why don't we rejoin the field as they've just taken 1 to go. 1 lap and we will be back to green flag racing from here at the World Center of Racing. So far, your top 10 looks like this when we come back to green. Just to review, Elijah Gordon is currently your race leader. He won the race coming out of the pits. Noah Clifton is in second. Then in third is the 88 of Bradley Ream. How about that? 11, 66, 88, 3 double-digit numbers consisting of the same number running 1, 2, 3 as of right now. Then that trend breaks with Brock Nelson as he sits in fourth. Carson Miller rounds out your top 5. Then in sixth is Chase McClure. Seventh is Carson Green. Eighth is Bryce Egan. Ronald House in ninth, and Michael Davis rounds out your top 10. And so far, we only have 5 retirees as we head towards the restart to start on lap 17. Will be 34 laps of racing to go. And there you see the retirees from this race. That is Sarah Taylor, Max Anderson, Liam Davis, the 77 of Sam Oskin, and Wayne Lopez. He started last, and unfortunately, he will finish last, and his season is not going to be starting off on the right note. Well, Nathan, we saw what these drivers are capable of doing on a double file start. Let's see what they can do on a fully single file restart with only, I would say, 31 trucks. Yes, 31 trucks still running on the racetrack, all of them on the lead lap. How long do you think it's going to take them before they get back to double file and 3 wide?
Well, I don't think it will take that long. I think it might take a little bit to see through light, but I think instantly here, especially with the unknown of how much damage Gordon and Clifton have, with that pit lane contact, I think we might see double file fairly quickly. But I've seen, especially at this version, single file can make it
Whoa,
very.
they did not get off to a good start whatsoever, and right out of the gate, they're stacking up. Bradley Ream up on the outside. Then it's Noah Clifton down there on the inside. Holy cow, that did not take them long at all to get stacked up.
Oh my goodness, I think that's all from the damage on pit lane. I think they have more damage than what we thought, and especially Gordon.
I would definitely have to agree with that. Look at that. The whole bottom line is starting to get away, but the middle and top are getting fully blocked off. That's Carson Green that just went on by, followed by Ronald House and Tyler Ferris. Addison Jarrell and Tullis have broken free from the 11 and 66's clutches. And definitely we see the effects of the damage from the 66 and 11's pit road contact might have done a little bit more than body damage.
Absolutely. That was a bad spot. And unfortunately, that's going to be day over for the race win for both the 66 and the 11. And now, this is going to turn into what I was thinking. It's going to be a lot of single file now as everyone tries to train up to each other. Like, how about the 99 Carson Green looking strong?
Whoa, look at that. Bryce Egan just absolutely bonsai'd it down to the inside of Jarrell and made it work. Move that number 34 up to the 4th position. Now he jumps up top. Now he slices down to the bottom. Bryce Egan is driving like a man on a mission right now.
What a run from Bryce Egan. And that is the draft here at Daytona in full effect. And he was my pick to win. And he is fast at the moment.
He's up to 4th as of right now as far as scoring is concerned, but he could be well on his way into the 3rd position as he finds himself on the inside line behind Haley Tullis. The door is starting to open up a little bit from the 81's part as they come off of turn 4, still double file. Everybody else behind this group is all strung out, at least for the most part. So I wonder how long it's going to take before all these other trucks start to find each other, get back together, and get single file and draft right back up to the sleep pack. Might take a while, but nonetheless, we're still seeing some really good racing amongst, it looks like, probably about the top 15, top 20 trucks, at least for the most part, at least 14 trucks nonetheless. But Tyler Ferris getting that run from Carson Green around the outside, and so far the Chevrolets are controlling both lines momentarily. Not if Bryce Egan has anything to say about it. Almost forced that 3-wide maneuver coming off of 4. Didn't get the right push from the 32 of Jarrell as they exit the tri-oval heading back to turn 1.
Looks like it'll be 16 plus or so. If I do my math correctly, that would be in the sleep pack. And that was very unfortunate with Elijah Gordon and Noah Clifton with that significant damage that really thrown out the field. And even with that second pack of drivers, they're probably not going to be able to catch up unless we get a caution here. But we got to see how it all goes down. Still 29 laps to go this time by. And earlier you talked about the race length of being 50 laps. This is not normal for a Truck Series in the United community. Most of the time it's 25 laps here at Daytona in my stuff and in the Tokyo Truck Series. This is a basically full length JBL Cup Series, WRLA Cup Series, for example, Daytona 550 laps. So that's just how long you do it over here, and still got plenty of time for things to change here in the Truck Series season opener.
Well, here at WRLA, of course, we kind of do things a little bit differently. So that means pushing the envelope, if you will, when it comes to some of the other lengths of the other races, if you will. So trucks are stretching it out just a little bit further. Oh, they're banging doors. That's Giacomo and Michael Davis rubbing fenders coming out of the Trialville. And you got Jeffrey Holcomb in the 04 down there on the inside, making it 4 wide, at least for the most part. Yep, they're still 4 wide. Carson Green way up on the top side. Now, question is, are they going to be able to settle it back down?
There's a gap.
There's a gap. There's a gap. They're not even going to take the gap. And they're going to go right down to the inside of the 99. Oh boy, they can't keep going for much longer here. The 9 and the 18, they're still banging doors off of one another.
They gotta get this figured out.
Oh, it's only a matter of time before we see like an actual big one this time around. Bryce Egan still leading the way. That second pack, if anything happens up here, they're going to catch up to this lead pack in a hurry and potentially get caught up in this fiasco. If it breaks out, it's going to turn into a win at this point.
Oh boy, they can't go for this that much longer down for the lead. We might be good.
I think.
Slide up
and they. How about that? Great heads up driving there from Michael Davis to clear up or at least get behind the 45. What a great save there. And I do believe as Tolles and Egan fight it out for the lead, we're coming up on the 2 slowest trucks on the racetrack.
Oh my goodness.
Look at the speed difference. 177 versus 204, nearly a 30-mile-an-hour difference between the slower trucks of Gordon and Clifton and then the fastest trucks that are all running in this pack right here, right now. Egan still leading the charge, coming to halfway, and they're going to catch him coming to the Tri-Oval, maybe even before that. Egan takes it downstairs.
It is insane that these two are the slowest trucks on the racetrack, and it's not even from that wreck. It's just from pit lane.
And look at this. So that second pack is starting to close in a hurry, all thanks to these 2 trucks. Well,
I would not be surprised if several of these
Whoa, here they come. And here they are.
Join with the lead pack.
Hartnett and Richards.
98, 17, 25, 7. They're all going to be able to join with this lead pack now.
Oh, look at, Hartnett and Richards that were leading both lines from that second pack. They just merged in with this one. But just as quickly as they merge together, they're all going to be split apart once again as that top side is getting absolutely blocked off.
18 twice going from the top to the bottom, and the 31 said, no, this is my spot. That's almost bad in the Tri-Oval.
Oh my goodness gracious. That's Harley Higdon in the 31. Remember, she started inside of the top 5 here for this race, and currently after all that's happened, she finds herself in the top 20, working her way down to the inside of Noah Shostow in the 30, but closer to the front of the field. Tolles continuing to lead the charge. And now this 16 truck pack that we had has now at least dwindled down to looks like about 9 trucks.
9 for now. We got a bunch trying to close back in. And with how the draft is at Daytona, that shouldn't be too hard depending on how these riders race. But definitely a interesting one. And it's very unfortunate, but this is how Daytona is sometimes, but still got a long way to go, and I've seen plenty of times over the years that this version, when everyone is thrown out and when you got slower trucks, we still can have a caution. So it's far from over here in the season opening race for the Menard Truck Series, and a great job so far from everyone up front. And you can just see the second pack is starting to group up, and they might be able to close back up with the lead bunch.
Well, so far, as of right now, the difference between the 9th and 10th place trucks is at least 1.1 seconds. That's Kelsey Higdon in the 15, who's at the trailing the back end of this lead pack as they're still fighting it out. Bryce Egan, Tolles, they're going at it for this race lead once again. And give it to the 34, Bryce Egan. getting that huge shove from Eli Bright in the 0-2. But going back to what I was saying, the difference now coming across the stripe is now a 0.6 of a second.
It is nothing.
And
they got single file.
They got single file in a hurry, and now here comes McClure, bringing Emmanuel Hartnett with him, along with Ronald House, Joshua Cornish in the 17, who was part-time in the Cup Series, still will be now for EGI, full-time here for the same team here in the Truck Series, EGI that is. He's now trailing Ronald House, and here comes that second pack. They're going to rejoin the lead group, and probably is going to bring it up to almost half of the field.
And that is the key thing that second group needed to do. They saw the top 9, even though it was 9 twice, they were double file and 3 wide. And that second group got mostly single file, and now we have double. And that is how crucial the draft is. And now we got a whole bunch of new faces up here, Elijah, and one of them is a long-time driver in the UNOH scene, Eli Bright in the 0-2, side by side with Bryce Egan in the 34.
Yeah, for Eli Bright, he has been a part of WRLA competition that dates back to 2020 when he drove for Smart Motorsports when they were a part of WRLA at the time. Drove the number 12 Target Ford, for Cody Smart at that time, but here we are 6 years later driving for Young Motorsports in the 0-2 in the Truck Series. He's fighting it out with Bryce Egan for the lead and what could potentially be the win at Daytona if he's back in this position when we get down to 10 laps to go. You got Michael DeFeo as well. I want to give a huge shout out to him as well. He was full-time in WRLA back in 2017, but had some controversy hit the fan. Right around that point, was suspended from WRLA competition. Now that's when we were using realism, that type of realism, if you will, in WRLA at that point. Came back to Cup competition part-time and still remains part-time in Cup, but now finds a full-time opportunity here in the Truck Series. He could capitalize on a resurgence by winning here at Daytona. But with 18 laps to go, he finds himself in the middle, currently scored in 6th, while the 34 of Bryce Egan is playing the role of the Pied Piper. But for how much longer? Here comes another long-time name in the community, Emmanuel Hartnett, working his way to the inside.
Let's see what ends up happening here. 18, I think, to be a driver to watch out for. Michael Davis. He's been strong all day. Was in that 4-wide scenario at 2 points, but going to take the race lead now, and we got to see how this all plays out. The 42 is up here of David Byers. You got the number 10 of Brock Nelson. You got a bunch of new faces that we've not seen yet here in this race. That one, I gotta think it's about 20-24 trucks or something like that.
Oh, they're catching up to the 66, and now the 88 of Bradley Ream is slow. Look at that bottom line, just blast right on by. They're also catching Bradley Ream in the 88. These 4 trucks are going to catch up to the 88. Where will Nelson go? He's going to slice it down to the bottom. The 42 of Byers tries to go up top. Can't quite get the room to do it. Egan and Tallis are going to find their way back into the mix, as well as the 18 and the 7. But look at how many trucks just got held up by the 66 and the 11.
And this time, the 66 and the 11 are blocking the inside lane, the shortest way around, and they have to pass them up top. And Mike Menard was saying that we had about 20-24 trucks in the lead pad that just got shrunk by a ton.
Absolutely dramatically. And at this point, when it comes to some form of mechanical failures from the 66 and the 11, you have to wonder what the point is of staying out on the racetrack if you're going to be as slow as you are and cause a huge disturbance when it comes down to the racing and, who could potentially win the race. I mean, you're potentially spoiling a lot of factors in that area, but up front, you're potentially giving other drivers a chance at winning, like Joshua Cornish here in the 17, Brock Nelson in the 10, Harley Higdon 31. They're all up here fighting 3 wide for the top position here at Daytona with 14 laps to go coming up.
Absolutely, and we gotta see if anyone is able to get back into it, because there's a huge gap, 3 seconds now from 8th to ninth, and if they can get single file out from ninth place on bat, they should be able to close in rapidly. As we saw earlier, they were able to gain basically a second half in a lap, so gotta see if what ends up happening. And they do not, they lose time from 8th to ninth, so it might come down to these top 8. We gotta wait and see. Still got Egan my pick, and unfortunately, there's about 50-50 chance if he will wreck or win based off of the staple jinx, but so far it's been good for him, as he's gonna try and block the 31 there, not quite. But it's gonna be interesting of what ends up happening with 13 laps to go, because we still have a lot of unpredictabilities, like the 88, 66, 11. I think I saw the 99 was slow at one point. These lap charts could be a factor. Wayne is actually doing a good job in the draft, so he might be okay, but we gotta see how this final 13 laps go with all these slow charts on the racetrack.
Cornish and Nelson still fighting it out up at the front of the field, but we take a look at that second pack, and oh boy. Uh-oh.
Don't do this in the 9-club, Pat.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Michael Davis, for not making the move for 3 wide there. You could have cost your teammate as well a chance of winning in this race, because your teammate is up here as well, Michael. Just be careful. but focusing back in, let's take a look at that gap between the 18 of Michael Davis and the 13 of Carter Friesen, and it is still relatively the same, about a 2.8 or about maybe, yeah, probably about a 2.8 second difference between those two trucks, maybe 3.8 if I'm doing my math correctly. I probably I'm not, but still, nonetheless, it's still 9 trucks up here, or at least 8 trucks that still have a chance to win this thing. But it's a little bit harder to pass, and it's a little bit harder to make some form of maneuver because of how many trucks are in this group, and I don't even know. I mean, it's just because of how many trucks there are, it's a little bit harder to pass.
Yeah, that's how this version is. It's, when you have less trucks in the pack, it becomes harder to make the moves on the race lead, and that's just how it goes. Looks like there might have been something down the back stretch of skid marks that didn't bring out a caution. I wonder if that's what happened to Green with something. But we are catching up to the 99 of Carson Green. So he doesn't look like he's that off the pace. But we gotta see how this all goes down. This 18 is very aggressive here. And he's gonna try and make it 4 wide.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Michael Davis, I mean, he is pretty eager to win his first race. This is his first official WRLA sanctioned event. Coming up on 10 laps to go. We are at 10 to go this time by. It's a 3.3 second difference between 8th and 9th, but unless if there's one more caution that comes out, I don't think that second pack is going to have anything on this lead group, but they are coming up on Carson Green and the 99.
Oh boy, that second pack is catching a little bit. And this is really going to determine these slow trucks.
Oh boy, that inside line is going to get that opening. Cornish breaks out with the top position. Higdon and Michael Davis, they're going to get around this 99 as well, but they're also catching up to the 66 and the 11. Hopefully this is the last time that we have to deal with them. Heading back into 1.
This could help that second pack a ton.
And here comes Higdon down to the bottom. And here we go. Oh, Cornish had to slam on the brakes. Cornish had to slam on the brakes, and around goes the 31 of Harley Higdon to the point, bringing Michael Davis and Emmanuel Harnett in tow. Second and third for those two, and Haley Tolis in the middle of a 3 wide situation. That's going to get sorted out pretty quickly, as now Tolis comes through to 5th. Or no, 4th, excuse me.
And just like that, that second pack caught right back up. And you got a feel for it for the 17 18
Oh,
was in the
boy.
lead and still cannot get past these slow trucks.
Yeah, Cornish has been absolutely struggling. He went to the top, back to the bottom, then went up to the top when that hole finally opened up, and now he is down and away. Now Kelsey Higdon, his teammate, is having a similar issue as everybody on the bottom side is trailing right around Cornish and Clifton. But up front, 6 laps remaining. Emmanuel Hartnett just stole the lead away from Michael Davis.
Oh boy, and now this is going to get interesting. The 99 is not that far off the pace, so it's going to be interesting on that. Same with William, he looks to be okay. And now we got a bunch of drivers behind him that are going to be single file. So maybe they might be able to close back up here. Look at the 18!
Oh boy.
Outside of the 7, but the 31 is going to say, nah, I want the race lead for myself here.
And Higdon might get 2 birds with 1 stone as she goes to the inside of Michael Davis, gets by him completely fine, now tries the inside of Emmanuel Hartnett, but doesn't have the push from Brock Nelson. 6 laps of racing to go from here at Daytona in the Menard Truck Series season opener here at Daytona. Hartnett leads the way with Michael Davis, who has been absolutely aggressive in the later stages of this event. He's in second, trying to keep the 31 of Harley Higdon at bay.
You gotta be aggressive here at Daytona, and I appreciate it, but there's been a couple times but I've questioned it. But that does not matter at this point in the race. 5 to go at the line. Point of no return, essentially. If we get a caution, then that would be a fairly slim chance of going back green. 18. Michael Davis is now out front. You got the 17 back there. Of course, catching back up. But there's not going to be that many drivers in this lead pack to have a shot. You got the 33 of DeFeo trying to draft back up here. But it's going to be most likely the top 9 with a shot at the race win here in the season opener.
And Cornish is just caught right back up to this front pack here in a hurry. DeFeo trying to do everything he can to snag whatever draft he can find off of any of these trucks at the tail end of the field. So far, he can get one off of Bradley Ream.
Yeah, he's going to be good. He's going to draft with Ream, and he will make a 10-truck fight for this race win.
Side by side for the top position here. 4 laps to go. Higdon leading the inside, and they got Addison Jarrell in the 32. Where did she come from? Higdon goes right on by. Bryce Egan down there on the inside, along with Carson Green. Remember, Green could still play spoiler in who wins this thing. Byers and Cornish, and now DeFeo getting around on the inside line. Wow, I was not even expecting there to be any more slower traffic, but they caught Addison Jarrell in a pretty decent hurry. Now here comes Bryce Egan to the inside with 3 to go.
Well, 1 from Bryce Egan there, and the 99 is up here a lap down. Don't have to worry about him. So is Egan out front. Cornish side by side with the 42 of David Byers, and we are going to catch up with the 98 again. And it's gonna come down to these top 10, and we gotta see how these slow trucks out in here.
Whoa! Look at Hartnett.
Oh, great move from Hartnett, but he's got no help. 81's gonna go up. 18's behind him.
Yeah, Michael Davis now at this point is going to play a little bit of helper for Emmanuel Hartnett, at least for the moment. Popsicle sticks in the air, as I believe Trey Wright used to say, or would love to say. 2 laps of racing to go from here at Daytona. They're catching up to Chase McClure here in a hurry. Let's see what these leaders are going to do with him. Egan looks like he's going to take it downstairs on the 98. Byers is going to go upstairs, and look out.
Woo, that was close.
Great piece of work there by the 34 and the 42. Look at Byers taking it downstairs on the 34 of Bryce Egan as they head through turns 3 and 4, coming to the white flag this time around.
The good news for these two, we only have just over a lap to go. The bad news, they got a hungry Pat behind them. The 99 is slow, but the 98 is not. Here comes Chase McClure on the move.
White flag, last lap to decide it all. Byers has it. Egan's starting to slow down a little bit.
Egan has a problem. Is he out of fuel?
I think Egan might have some form of mechanical failure, something to miss on the 34. Meanwhile, up front, back straightaway, one final time. Hartnett gets by Byers while they're all held up by lap traffic. And here we go, 3 wide with the Thor Sport trucks that have nothing to lose. What about Carter Friesen in the 13 coming out of nowhere? And here they come off of 4, 3 wide at the stripe. Get out your cameras. It is going to be, oh my God.
It's the 7.
It was Emmanuel Hartnett at the line.
Oh my goodness.
What in the world?
Welcome to WRLA Daytona. What a finish.
What a race. From here at Daytona, Emmanuel Hartnett gets the nod by just
0.00.
several 1,000ths of a second. And as far as WRLA history, that brings Emmanuel Hartnett up to 4 overall wins. And let's think about this. He once again is tied with Emily Anderson as the all-time winningest driver in WRLA with the 4. Remember, Hartnett he just gets rear-ended here by the 13 of Friesen. Probably a congratulatory tap there. Hartnett won at Auto Club in Watkins Glen in the Cup Series in 2017.
4 1,000ths of a second.
And look at that, 4 1,000ths of a second right there between Hartnett and Davis. And that is what's going to give Hartnett his 4th overall WRLA win, his first in the Menard Truck Series. And I do believe you are correct, Nathan. Bryce Egan ran out of fuel on the final lap, as well as the 31 of Harley Higdon. But look at that. Davis, so close to his first Menard Truck Series win. He will have to wait until next Thursday when we go to Minnesota. David Byers finishing in 3rd. Carter Friesen coming out of the woodworks in the 4th position. Joshua Cornish, great rebound for him as he completes the top 5. Michael DeFeo finishing in 6th. Brock Nelson 7th. Haley Tolis in 8th. Shauna Martin in 9th. And Billy Kidd rounding out your top 10. And from positions 11th all the way down to 22nd and then 24th and 25th. Everybody finished the race on the lead lap with the exception of Harley Higdon and Bryce Egan. I believe they might have coasted across the start-finish line with no fuel in those trucks whatsoever. And then you get on down over here to McClure down to Gordon. They finished 1 lap down or more. And then Sarah Taylor, Max Anderson, Liam Davis, Sam Oskin, and Wayne Lopez. They were the only 5 retirees of this race. But man, what a thrilling way to start off the Menards Truck Series, and what a way to kick off a double-header day here for WRLA competition. As far as the lower level series goes, we had the Truck Series race earlier today, of course, which saw Emmanuel Hartnett get his first Menards Truck Series win and his 4th overall win in the league. But now, coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have WRLA Xfinity Series racing. And I'm pretty sure you're eager to watch your drivers do battle here at Daytona when it comes to the Xfinity Series action before tomorrow night's Daytona 500. Nathan. But focusing here on this race, man, any final thoughts here from the Daytona for the Truck Series?
What a race. What a race. Honestly, things got very hectic for the final 34 laps with those lap trucks that were damaged. But besides that, fantastic racing. There's a reason why that myself, Alex, many others, and now you love this version of Daytona. It is very, very special, and what a way to kick off the WRLA season with a 4 1,000ths of a second win. it can get closer than that, but not by much. So fantastic stuff, and just getting started. And I'm very excited of how the rest of the next couple of days go for Daytona.
And I will ask you, as a NOS Energy Cup Series driver, you definitely saw a lot of great racing, of course, but probably might have taken notice of some do's and don'ts here. What else are you going to be looking for here in tonight's Xfinity Series race that you're going to bring into tomorrow night's Daytona 500? And what kind of notes are you also going to take to your other drivers, like Noah Clifton, for instance, and even Zachary Fitzwater and Andrew Miller?
Well, I think some of the easy don'ts, don't make it full wide too early. Don't get too aggressive too early, because we definitely saw that. And definitely try and stay in the draft. And if for some reason there's lap traffic and slow cars, do what these drivers did. Because we definitely saw there's a lead pat, and then there's a train for a smaller pat that might have been single file or double file when the leaders were 3 wide. So that clearly worked out better. So if we see that again, I think the drivers in the Xfinity Series and NOS Energy Cup Series need to just do the same thing. If they lose the draft, just work together, get single file, and get back up to the lead pat. So it's a long race for both of the series, just like this one, and we just gotta see how it all goes down.
Well, certainly appreciate your time here in the booth, Nathan. We're going to let you get on down to the infield so that way you can talk to your Xfinity drivers and your Cup drivers as well, and get ready for tonight's Xfinity race here. I know you're going to be watching that, and best of luck to you and your drivers in tonight's race and also in tomorrow night's Daytona 500. Want to thank you guys a lot so much for watching the season opening WRLA Menard Truck Series race. Coming up later tonight will be the Drive for COPD 300, the season opener for the WRLA Xfinity Series. We're definitely going to be looking forward to that one. If this race was great, just wait till tonight's Xfinity opener. It is going to be a 60-lap action-packed race. You can definitely tell how excited I am by the amount of times I've been stuttering, if you will. But regardless,
It's a new season, we're all excited.
Exactly. We're all very excited for this one. One more time, congratulations to Emmanuel Hartnett on getting the job done to kick off the 2026 Truck Series season. And here are your points after race number 1 of the WRLA Menard Truck Series season. On behalf of Nathan Stapleton, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out, saying you've been watching a product of WRLA Action here on the WRLA YouTube channel. Have yourselves a fantastic one. We'll see you right back here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for WRLA Xfinity Series action from Daytona.